Good morning, guys. I hope you had a good weekend. Uh, let's start with uh, there's a lot that's been going on, and I'll get you up to date. But first, for those of you up in the Worcester area, you need your car or truck or Mini Cooper worked on, head to Greasy's Garage, ask for Pete. Pete and the gang can fix whatever you got, no matter how big or how small. And he always carries Bear's products. And for those of you who would like to learn more about Bear's products, call David at 615-854-3057, and he'll fill you in on how you can get better gas mileage and more power. If you want to save your hair, you can do that too. As Pete says, Bear is a genius. Also, for those of you who want a cool sweatshirt, t-shirt, go to libtardtees.com. Now, to dig into some of the stuff here that's been going on, keep in mind, I know people think, oh, it's all over, down. No. For those of you who listened to Lynn Wood on, I believe it was Saturday, that Lynn Wood, General Flynn, and several others spoke to several thousand people. And I think millions watched it on the internet. Lynn Wood took aim right square at the child traffickers, and he named them. He said he said Obama, Clinton's, Bush's, and several others. He said, listen, he said, these guys, he said, yeah, he named them off. And then, General Flynn, he did his speech, and you need to listen to that. And the fact is that when you get done listening to General Flynn and Lynn Wood, let me tell you what, things are happening. And Lynn Wood said, listen, if I say it, it's true. Now, Lynn Wood has a great reputation to protect and to uphold. 40 years, I believe, of a reputation. He's not about to toss it down the drain. And he says, President Trump knows everything. Everything. So, also keep in mind this right here. This is from Real Raw News, and if this is true, wow. And I gotta wait for it to come up here. This is the Clinton Military Tribunal, Day 5, the conviction. It says a military tribunal on Thursday convicted former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on charges of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, accessory to murder, child trafficking, endangering a minor, treason, and sedition. The two male and one female panel of officers cast a unanimous verdict shortly after Vice Admiral John G. Hancock, who prosecuted the military's case against Clinton, showcased his final witness for the prosecution, Clinton's former strategist and lover, Huma Ahmadine. In exchange for leniency in a plea deal, Ahmadine testified she and Clinton had shared underage children with her estranged ex-husband, Anthony Weiner. Pressed to clarify her definition of the word shared, Ahmadine qualified her answer by saying they had practiced lewd and lascivious behavior on underprivileged minors Clinton had imported into the United States. Now keep in mind, we've heard before, we heard a long time ago, that many of these people would be dealt with long before people knew what was going on. And so moving on down here, let's see here. It says Huma Ahmadine will face her own military tribunal at a date yet to be decided. RRN has learned. That's Real Raw News. So keep in mind that that's going on. Okay, that's been going on there apparently. Now, this too, for those of you who are wondering about Joe Biden, and he was apparently denied entry to the Pentagon. And Brenda was listening to Charlie Ward and oh, I can't remember the other guy's name. You know him if I said his name. Anyway, so it says the man who calls himself President of the United States, Joe Biden, was denied entry to the Pentagon on Friday. Real Raw News has learned shortly after meeting Democrat lawmakers. And by the way, Charlie Ward and others got this from their own sources, from their own sources in the military. Anyway, so shortly after meeting Democrat lawmakers to discuss more restrictive gun control legislation, Biden went to the Arlington, Virginia, to advocate the merits of his planned withdrawal of all U.S. armed forces from Afghanistan. He had also sought to convince military leaders that Iran's decision to enrich weapons-grade plutonium to 60% did not threaten U.S. interests, said an administration source speaking under condition of anonymity, but Biden never made it inside. Our source said U.S. Pentagon police, part of the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, stopped Biden and his Secret Service detail in their tracks, informing them that they had standing orders to prevent Biden administration members, including Biden, from entering the building. Those orders reportedly included the use of deadly force. Biden demanded to know who gave the orders, stumbling through his words, and was told the directive came directly from General David H. Berger, Commandant of the United States Marine Corps and a ranking member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. When Biden demanded to speak with Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, he was told Milley, a Biden supporter, was no longer in charge, our source said. Biden, our source added, became belligerent, saying, as the President of the United States, he had unrestricted access to all federal properties, including the Pentagon. He then instructed his three-man Secret Service detail to resolve the issue. Pentagon police drew on sidearms, our source said. The Pentagon Protection Force told the Secret Service agents they'd be making a mistake. There were over 100 inside, ready to back them up if trouble started. The Secret Service didn't want any part of that and told Biden he'd have to force his way in himself if he was so inclined. Moreover, Biden purportedly muttered an unbelievable phrase. He says, "I bet that bastard is inside." We can only guess as to whom he was referring, but RRN guesses he meant none other than President Donald J. Trump. While it seems unlikely, he must remember that Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley opposed Trump's presidency and was one of the few high-ranking military leaders who supported Biden's alleged 2020 victory. It is possible that General Milley has been overthrown and Marine Corps General David Berger has assumed command of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And it says Real Raw News will provide updates as they become available. So if in fact that is true, and we don't know yet. I mean, this is a movie that has so many twists and turns. It's unbelievable. So we'll find out more as time goes on. And then military National Guard targeted in drive-by shooting hours after Representative Maxine Waters told BLM to be more confrontational. And it says the Minnesota National Guard was fired at in a drive-by shooting in North Minneapolis early Sunday morning, just hours after Maxine Waters, Mad Maxine, told the Black Lives Matter extremists to be more confrontational. How bizarre. How insane. And then you have this from Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says, very soon I'll be introducing a resolution to expel Representative Maxine Waters from Congress for her continual incitement of violence. Representative Waters is a danger to our society. After traveling across state lines to incite riots, her orders recorded on video last night at a Brooklyn center directly led to more violence and a drive-by shooting on National Guardsmen in Minnesota early this morning. As a sitting United States Congresswoman, Representative Maxine Waters threatened a jury demanding a guilty verdict and threatened violence if Chauvin is found not guilty. This is also an abuse of power. Representative Maxine Waters must be expelled from Congress. Share this with all that you know. I mean, things are getting hot. Let me tell you what. I don't know when they're going to blow, but they're going to blow. And then pompous Fauci attacks Jim Jordan, says mask mandates, endless lockdowns, and vaccine passports have nothing to do with restricting civil liberties. Listen, Trump put him up front and exposed him. He had him out front month after month after month. Fauci has been exposed, and he's about to be attacked. They're going after him, and he's in deep doo-doo. Remember, all these people, they thought they had it made. And then screaming crowd gives President Trump standing ovation at Lincoln Day fundraiser. I'm telling you what, people sense the shit's about to hit the fan. New York Times blames non-Muslim men refusing to convert to Islam to marry Muslim women. Seriously? It says the New York Times, like the rest of the establishment media, seems to have adopted a policy of making Islam look as good as possible whenever possible, no matter what incidences of jihad violence and Sharia oppression have to be whitewashed in the process. And so it was no surprise when the Times on Thursday published a weepy, self-pitying piece by a Muslim woman, Myra Faruqi, all about her romance with a Hindu man, which went sour when he gallantly refused to convert to Islam in order to marry her. Well, why doesn't she convert to Hinduism? Why not do that? What's wrong with that one? And then moving on to the Queen. There she sits all alone. And at her husband's funeral, she sits away. She's trying to make a good presentation, a good appearance for the rest of Great Britain. This is one of many things that people are going to hear, and or they're seeing through. They're like, no, we're not buying that one. And once again, here's Linwood's speech. And I would ask all of you, go and listen to what he has to say on Saturday. Amazing. Oh, by the way, Bill Gates is one of the guys that Linwood mentioned for child trafficking. In this article here, Bill Gates' equitable math considered for California schools. Correct answers are racist. I guarantee you, he would never have gotten where he's at today without a good education. And yeah, the guy is full of it. This is an evil man. Very, very evil. And yeah, anyway, that is all for now. God bless y'all. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.